wait to run off to Mom, Dad.
These matches are going to be even more ridiculous.
If you know anything about Street Fighter, you do not doubt the GOAT.
My man is always hitting go. You thought I was playing? Oh, you're hella dead.
The main event.
Help me out, Nadeshko.
Look how much it means to him. Wow!
Dan Hibiki, back after the ultimate improvement.
I'll show you.
Line it up. Power to the earth.
See what I'm really made of.
The honor was mine. I'll settle this.
Let's begin.
Are you serious? My man is reading right now. My man is reading. Skip to my rules at the end of you know.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Monday night of sets here on Capcom Fighters, where we pit two players in the ring online and we get them playing in a 1-7. And whoever wins this gets bragging rights for the next couple of weeks. I'll be your host again tonight, Jammerz, and joining me will be Veggey once again. Veggey, talk to me. How you feeling?
I just want to say this is your favorite Brit, Veggey, ready
God.
to provide some
All right, Richard,
grade
close it
A
off.
commentary. Yeah, no, it's a good day. It's a good day to watch. I'm really excited to watch these two players from the same community play, especially since GTR might not be someone that everyone knows about, but they, as we spoke about earlier, should definitely know about GTR and his skill. So we're looking to have a really exciting set today, I think, and I'm interested in all the pep talk, and they're really great guys. So I think this is going to be a very nice evening.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. As Veggey was saying, these are the two players that we got tonight for the 1-7 exhibition. Big Bird on your left got up against GTR. Obviously, you're going to be knowing Big Bird for a lot of his world-renowned achievements. And GTR, a little less known on the radar, but again, to echo what Veggey was saying, GTR is a very strong player. You can actually get validation from the Birds how good he is. And also you get validation from myself because he bodied me at Celtic Pro in 2019. We're going to mention that a little while when we get to these guys on the call. And Veggey as well. They've known these guys for quite some time. But I can't wait to see who they're going to pick because Big Bird has kind of expanded his roster. We might be able to talk to him about that. And GTR has a couple of tricky characters up his sleeve as well. So I'm very interested to see who he's going to pick tonight. But the big thing that we gotta kick things off today with is a lot of announcements were made last week, and as you saw the trailer before it came over to myself and Veggey, was the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 has been announced. If you don't know, you've been living under a rock, and these tournaments start as early as next month. There is going to be more information on the Capcom Pro Tour website. There's more events than there were last year. I believe there was 20. Now there's 32, and they've expanded on the territory as well. More regions have been involved, and certain regions have been divided to make things easier on everybody's burden online. We know how rough it can be, but as you can see on your screen right now, we go through these. We got North America and Canada East, North America, Canada Midwest, North America, Canada West, with Central America East and West, Brazil, European West, Northern European as well. UK and Ireland, that's an interesting one. I'm actually thankful for that. France, Spain, and Portugal. Personally, I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. France, Spain, and Portugal. And then if we move on to the next one as well, as you can see, we've got East Asia, we've got Southeast Asia, we've got Japan, China, Middle East have finally got their own region. We're going to have to talk to the Birds, Big Bird and GTR about that, as well as Veggey yourself as well. And we got some African representation. The Republic of South Africa is here, as well as Eastern Europe, along with Russia. Australia are back once again. They had an interesting show last year on the online CBT, and they got South America West as well. So a couple of things that are interesting about it. Like I said, they've expanded on some territories. They've seen it. And as you have to understand, this stuff, running these worldwide tours, online or offline, they're extremely difficult. And no one's ever going to get these right the first time, and they make amends and try to fix as much errors as they can from the previous tour to make the next one better. It happened when the Capcom Pro Tour originated back all those years ago, and it's been getting better and better and sorted out. But then when you fix old problems, you inevitably create new ones, right? And obviously you mitigate the amount of ones that happens, but they are trying, and this is new territory for all of us. Last year, as you know, worldwide pandemic made a lot of things rough, but we still have some form of competition here. And they've tried again for safety procedures as well as the worldwide situation. They've given us more competition, more action, and they try to make it easier to, like, you know, lessen the burden on everyone's connections and whatnot here online. But Veggey, talk to me. How do you feel about the online CPT and it being announced?
You remember when online CPT was announced last year? There were like mixed response, and I always found that very strange, because especially for players on their teams, it's vital that there is something to enter that has that kind of prestige that the Capcom Pro Tour has. So just doing that, we were really like thankful. I think everyone, even though it is online, it's better than not having anything. So after we saw like the regioning, it was like we had some issues with the regioning. Some regions were not really well placed, but as you said, it was the beginning of the first online only tour, and they had to like include regions in a way that the regions could actually play, and there were only 19 spots or 18 spots, excluding the Capcom Chap qualified and the
community vote.
So some regions might have been pushed a bit tight, so seeing an increase in events and a better regioning is super welcomed. As you could see, Norway, who used to be in the Europe East, which was a big improvement from when we were in Europe West, because we have a better connection with the Russian players and a lot of the Eastern European players than we do with, for instance, France, Spain, Portugal. So that was a great improvement that year, but then we had like the Middle East as well, and Southern European countries, or is it Southern Europe, like Turkey. So it became very difficult for us to play that tournament. But this year, the Nordics and Europe East and Middle East are separated into 3 regions, which then complements that whole make sure that the players can express themselves and have a good game, good matches. I mean, two northern connections are generally really good. So I see that this kind of development of the connections or who you're playing against will give a much more positive outlook, I think, from the players, myself included, seeing that, okay, now there is Nordics, I know my connection will be good most of the time. And this is a great change, and adding more spots to like do that, even though that is more work and more like organization and all that, is so important. And I'm really happy that they did it, because I would not be very excited to play that regioning I had last year again. So having this regioning with Norway and Finland and Sweden and Denmark and was it the Baltics? I don't really remember off the top of my head, but that's going to be an improvement, and I'm very thankful. And I think having an online Pro Tour is way better than having no Pro Tour at all. As my closing statement is that when we do have it, the teams have an incentive, and they can write, why do we keep these players? They still have these things, and that's great for people who do this for a living.
It's a big deal, and as obviously there's a lot to take into consideration with these things. But as Veggey was saying, the separation of regions to make things a little bit easier for everybody is interesting. It's good that Australia came back, made their return to online CBT. It's good that there's some representation in the African region as well. I don't think it's got as much as it should. But there's some representation there as well, so I'm not sure how that transpired, because I actually don't know much about the African scene as a whole, and it would have been great to know more about them. So I need to do my research regarding that such there. And again, China are back. Brazil's got their own thing. UK and Ireland is good as well, because our connections to various countries within Europe are not 100%. So it's interesting that they separated us from, France, Spain, and Portugal there together, than the rest in other countries. I do need to see which countries are included in certain regions that obviously just encapsulated it as a whole there. That would be pretty interesting and see as well. And again, I think I need to double check the schedule, but I think Japan kick off the tour and they end the tour as well. I think they have 3 or 4 online events between them. Other regions do have just the one, and then there'll be some regions that have 1 or 2. I'm not sure what went into that in terms of organizing and talking about that stuff, but I guess it'll be a talking point regarding the guests we do bring on to the show here and there, what they think about it as well. Because we will be doing this well into the CPT's lifespan as well. We might be able to get maybe one of the winners on in their respective region, or some of the people that placed high and whatnot. Just hear their opinions as well. Let us know what you think about the announcement that has been made for CPT 2021. It will be going all the way into early 2022 as well. You can tweet at myself, HCJammers, or at Veggey_SF, or just let us know in the chat. I should bring up the chat pretty soon so I can see what you guys are saying there. But again, it's a new season, new characters on the horizon outside of Dan. There's still 4 more to get through. Obviously, I think one of the interesting things, we didn't actually talk about this when we were setting up Veggey as well, is top 4 receiving a split prize pot. That's interesting.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. So I think it was, someone do correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's top 4 split $5,000. Is that right?
I think that's right. Sounds like what it was. I don't know if they actually explained how the split will work, but I'm pretty sure it was $5,000 split for top 4. So there's more incentive to play, and the gatekeeping discussions then less of a thing, because there is an incentive to win even if you had won already an event. Like if you're in the Japan region and have multiple events. And I do think you mentioned before that there is like Japan now has 4 events.
I
and
think it's 4. Someone correct me if I am wrong.
3 or 4.
It's 3 or 4.
But it's like understandable because Europe, if you count all the regions, will have the same or more spots, and the same with South America and the American region. So since we are more divided, they just had to kind of like split up the qualification spots. But it's still Europe has multiple spots. It's just that each region might not have as many chances at getting that spot, because Japan is more dense, and as I understand it, so their player base are closer together, so they can share kind of these qualification spots, which is a win for them, I think, because you have more chances.
And again, they got one of the strongest regions out there, so the competition is going to be fierce. I mean, look, even last year for the online CPT, near the end, I think it was their second and final one, they decided to stream the pools action because there was too many players that you didn't want to miss. And not everyone's going to do what I did and wake up early in the morning, turn on CFN and find all these replays, just watch them of your own volition. People do want to catch this stuff. They want to turn on Twitch, have something in the background when they get on with the day, and see this stuff there. So again, it will be very interesting to see how this year pans out in terms of the season. I mean, hey, listen, like you said, there's a top 4 prize pool split there, so people, and you're in regions that are like, you know, beneficial to you. I know online is online, but they're beneficial to you. And like Veggey said, there's more motivation, there's more incentive to play. So make sure you get practicing. If you want to get involved, they're free to enter. As far as I'm aware, they are free to enter. Again, there's not much information I can say because there's not much I know about. But again, make sure you go onto CapcomProTour.com and see the schedule, see how things are going to work out. I don't think, I'm not sure, did they mention every single one of the events? Because I know right at the end it said to be determined. I think there's another online event or something like that. I'm not too sure.
On the schedule, there's at least an event that says TBD, so which is said to be determined. So I'm guessing they aren't all placed yet on the schedule. And another thing that I like, or that makes you think a little bit, is that it doesn't end this year. If I saw correctly, it's January next year in Japan again. So I'm guessing that that's like kind of like a safety precaution to make sure that you can actually hold the offline tournament at the end. So we'll see like when the finals will be held, but right now we see a season that's going to, like we haven't seen before, it's going further or longer than before. It only starts one month later, but it definitely has a longer duration since it ends way more than 1 month later.
Oh yeah, so, I mean, if you think about it, because last year, obviously because of the situation, we assumed that it was, some people assumed that like, you know, things would be sorted out or like glazed over after 2 or 3 months, but that was definitely not the case. So, and a tour wasn't announced until midway through the year, which was June, then we had to pan it out from June all the way to December and sort something out. But now there's been a little bit more time, they've collected more data to see how things work. They're like, okay, cool. This is what we originally wanted to do. So we started in April, and then we go all the way through to next year again and see. If certain things transpire, not everything's going to be 100% set in stone. Just things do happen around the world. Decisions and circumstances do change at the drop of a hat. But right now, what we do know is a tour has been announced. Get comfortable, more action's going to be on the way. And you guys at home playing the game can participate. Make sure you're in your respective region. I don't want to find no Brazilian Ken entering the UK and Ireland spots because you missed your chance to get your chance to qualify for the CPT. I do believe it is winner automatic qualification once again, how it works before. But then again, right, with the with the regions that have the one chance, it's going to be even more scary, right? Because again, that's their one and only chance. And with the guests we have tonight, Big Bird and GTR, their region, as I saw on the schedule there, they've only got the one chance because before they were lumped with your region, your neck of the woods, Veggey.
Last year, yeah.
We are going to talk a little bit more about that, but I want to bring in our lovely guests. 'Cause I haven't spoken to them in a little while. Can we bring in Big Bird and GTR onto the call? Bear with us, ladies and gents. It is late for them, so I have to thank them for coming on and joining us tonight. So let's bring on Big Bird and GTR to this call. All right. So, gentlemen, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, how you guys doing?
There you go. There's Big Bird.
Habibi.
What's up, Paul? How are you doing?
All right.
Ani Zain, shukran.
So we got Big Bird and GTR. Once again, gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy lives. Hopefully you guys are doing well and doing safe. And I know you guys are actively playing Street Fighter because you talk about it quite a bit. But the first thing, just alluding from what me and Veggey were saying before we brought you onto the call. Big Bird, I'll start with you. I want to hear your thoughts on last year, the online CPT, how the Middle East region was bunched up with Eastern Europe. I can already think of your answer.
I mean, I guess if you follow my Twitter, you already know my answer about it. But like, it's not that I wasn't happy that there was a tour and they happened to include Middle East in it, but they did it and it was included with Eastern Europe, which makes it completely unplayable. As you guys know, in my first online CPT, I played with Phenom Grand Finals.
Yes.
And that was like it was just teleporting really. And then in the second online CPT, I played losers final against the Shakhtar from Russia.
Yes.
That was the same thing. That was probably even worse of a connection than Phenom.
So that was just insanely rough.
Yeah, so it was just frustrating to play, and I mean, and pretty much like I had a duty to fulfill to my sponsors, to at least represent them in official tournaments.
Okay.
So I couldn't say no. But yeah, it was like kind of frustrating experience to play in, and hopefully this time, since I saw only Middle East, I'm hoping that Middle East doesn't also include Turkey in it, because if it includes Turkey.
Good. Sorry to interrupt. It's good because Veggey didn't mention this before. I don't know what countries they'd slump you in together with. Like, do you know what countries would be included in the Middle East?
I actually have no clue. Like, all I know, like Middle East, if you go by like geographical positions,
yeah,
it doesn't include Turkey.
Okay.
But there's a lot of like for example, League of Legends and these kind of games, when they try to include Middle East, they say MENA and Turkey, or Middle East and Turkey. So sometimes Turkey is included with the Middle East. But since Capcom only said Middle East, I'm actually not sure whether they'll include Turkey or Turkey will be included in another region or not. But considering they had put us with Turkey in like 2019, I'm kind of like iffy about it. I'm 50-50, like whether they include Turkey or not.
But how is the connection like compared to the Nordic countries and Russia that you played when you play against Turkey? Is it the same or is it like substantially better?
It's kind of like, it's a bit better, but it's still a lot like not playable, or like not even not optimal to play in at all. Like it's probably 2 bars, and like the Russian and Norway probably 1 bar.
Damn.
Okay. So there's not that much of a difference, you'd say then.
That definitely sounds rough there. So another question I want to ask you, Big Bird, before we talk to GTR a little bit, is Luffy mentioned last week on the show how hard it was to be motivated and stay motivated in times like these. And I know you've mentioned something about motivation as well, especially after you came back from Street Fighter League last season. And you're contractually obliged, like you said, to participate in some of these tournaments and show that you're still actively playing and competing and showing off the results. This year, with how things are, the CPT announcement, what's happened, and then obviously new characters that are on the horizon and buffs to different characters as well that you might want to try out. Is there new incentive for Big Bird, or do you feel you might fall back into that bracket of I'll just play the Middle Eastern tournament and then I'll probably lose motivation to play the game again? Like, what's it going to be for Big Bird?
I mean, I've always had this like feeling where whenever I feel like I'm motivated to play the game or anything, I just try to pick up and learn a new character.
Okay.
And that like kind of puts me back into, you know, getting motivated to play the game again, because it kind of feels like you're learning the game again.
Yeah.
So that's what I do when I usually like feel like I don't want to play anymore. So last year I did that with G. The year before that I did that with Birdie. This year I'm doing it with Ryu. Hopefully another character will come as well if I'm interested enough. So basically, yeah, whenever I feel unmotivated, I just try to pick up another character and, just learn the game like from scratch again.
Okay, I mean that's interesting because I know your region is not as you haven't got as many players to just randomly play against online as we do in the European region or the American region and whatnot. So you guys are really condensed and really have to focus on certain things that you do. So a player of your caliber just talking about motivation is definitely inspiring because of limited resources that you guys might have, especially in the online realm of Street Fighter 5. So I just had to get that out of the way and ask that. Now, moving on to GTR. For those of you that know GTR is a very strong player, and I feel he doesn't get as much recognition as he deserves, and it's good that we got Big Bird here as well, because he can vouch for me when I say this. He has been playing the game, or Street Fighter, as a whole for quite some time. Now, GTR, which characters are you currently playing in Street Fighter 5 for those that do not know?
Right, I've started season 1 with Ryu because I've been a Ryu main since SF4. I've been known to be a Ryu player, a Shoto player basically. But since then I've moved to other characters like Sagat, Gil. I've even played a little bit of Honda. I tried Karen as well.
He mentioned
but currently I'm mostly going with Gil because he's the most fun. Because I'm not what you say a pro player.
Okay.
So I try to pick characters that, regardless of their tier list, I pick characters that I have the most fun with. So Gil is the most fun character for me currently, so I'm playing him the most.
Okay, and like GTR said, it's very important to pick a character that you just find aesthetically pleasing, entertaining, and whatnot. And again, like he's not a pro player, he doesn't have to go straight to the top. He doesn't have to pick Akuma, he doesn't have to pick Urien, he doesn't have to pick Cammy.
It's funny actually because it seems like all the characters that I love in terms of design all end up to be low tier.
Hey, sometimes that's the case. A classic example of playing these fighting games. But hey, man, that character looks cool. But it's like, yeah, they're not going to win any tournaments or be fierce at the highest level. Now, Veggey, you had a very interesting question you wanted to ask GTR. Fire away, please.
You know, GTR. The first time I heard about you, you weren't called GTR. You were called Dubigo. And I'd really like to know.
I knew he was gonna do that.
This is. I just want to know where this.
You had to bring it up.
Yes.
What did I tell you, Veggey? I knew he was gonna do
that. The first time I heard about you, you were Dubigo, but then you were GTR. So what is this thing about Dubigo?
I thought we buried this nickname, man.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's actually a funny story. Basically, back in SF4, we used to have this weekly tournament. Okay, and as I explained, I was a Ryu player.
Yes.
And I even picked that Daigo color. And my playstyle was similar to Daigo. So the tournament organizer, he had this funny joke that you are the Dubai Daigo.
Oh my God.
Dubaigo. Okay? And I used to play Ryu and even Ryu. So when I picked Ryu, it is Dubaigo or Halal. I picked even Ryu, Dubaigo or Haram.
Oh my God.
That's the best.
That kind of took off and became a meme everywhere. So it's fun, but I like to ignore it when people bring it up.
Okay, but
I'm sorry, GTR. I just knew because Veggey he wanted to ask you this question for a couple of days. I said, you know, he's gonna flip when you mention that name because he's probably dead.
So why did you change it back to GTR? Really? I mean, I really like Dubigo. I think that's a sick nickname.
It was not the nickname I picked. It was forced to me.
Yeah.
It was so cheesy, man. Come on. It's funny, so I understand it, but I will never stick with that name.
Do you know what? I agree with that. Change his name, give himself his own identity and whatnot. I don't think you want to see we already got Diego Juarez and some other people moving around on CFN. I think like the Dubigo Halal, if he's put in the ground, he's put in the ground. But obviously, we had to clear that up and get that out of the way. Now, GTR, another thing I wanted to ask you as well is you're a very strong player. For what I've seen, and I have played GTR as well, and he completely beat the crap out of my Poison when she first came out because he's a very skilled player. Why is it that you don't, kind of compete as hard in Street Fighter as some people would like you to? Is it time? Is it work? You know, you probably don't get that sense of, you know, competitive thrill. Like, why don't we see GTR at all these events?
See, the thing is with me, I am not a pro player. And the specific thing about me is I'm not a very good tournament player. So the short set format...
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The short set format just doesn't work for me. And especially if I'm playing someone who I'm not familiar with. So my confidence takes a huge dip if I don't know who I'm playing against.
Okay.
And in a short set, I can lose to anybody basically. Even if I play them later on in casuals, I can destroy them. But during the tournament, because of nerves, because of unfamiliarity, because of the short set, and specifically my confidence, because what is this guy gonna do? Is he gonna DP? Is he gonna press buttons? This kind of uncertainty, I lose to myself basically, is what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, but when I move on to casuals, I play people, they tell me you are a very strong player, how come you didn't perform well? But that's basically it. But when I play a long set, I can do pretty well.
People can see your potential. And I had to ask, and it's good that GTR put that in his own words, because a lot of people, what GTR mentioned, confidence. He's unsure of how his opponent's going to react. Short term, or the short sets, it can be very grueling and very scary for a lot of players, and when they don't know and they're unfamiliar with their opponents. All these things people suffer from at different levels, and you just don't know how to articulate it. So I really like that GTR really put that into words that a lot of people can understand. So GTR, my next pending question is, are you actually going to enter the online CPT for your respective region this year, or are you just not going to bother with it? Because again, it might be at home, but pressure is pressure, man.
No, it's fine actually. Actually, as a small community here in the Middle East, we try to get whatever we can. Whether it's a small tournament, an online tournament, regardless of what it is, even if it is a very small event, we try to enter whatever we can get, because we don't get a lot of chances like you guys in Europe or in the US or Japan to play much. So whatever we can play in as few tournaments as possible, we will play whatever we can do.
That's cool.
That's what we'll do.
All right. No, thank you very much for that. All right. One last question before we let you guys go to play this first to 7. Don't worry, guys. The set will be starting very shortly. I just got to ask Big Bird this one last question. So, Big Bird, what is a professional player opinion on V-shifts? Because I don't think I've really heard you or Angry Bird really talk about that much on social media from what I've seen. I can't catch your streams all the time, but what do you guys think of V-shifts right now?
Honestly, like when I saw it, I thought it was gonna be like something that would like get you back to neutral, and at the cost of 1 bar.
Yeah.
It still does that, but I underestimated the risks that it has with it.
Okay.
So basically, it's not. I thought it was gonna be a free get out of jail card, but honestly, since you have to go back to neutral to do it, that means like tight strings can really mess you up. Also, not to mention, it's crush countable on recovery. So there's a lot of like players that come up with like throw OS into something to punish the V shift.
Yeah.
But it's still something good, as in like to avoid stuff like, for example, let's say Bison's Devil Reverse or something, or Urian's EF tackle. V shift kind of helps with that, and in the neutral obviously. And sometimes it's good to escape block strings with it, because for example, also like post-throw situations, sometimes you're like trying to guess whether the opponent's gonna go in for a throw again, or like meet you or something. V-shift kind of helps eliminate that and gets you back to neutral, unless the opponent does a hard read, like for example jump or dash or something. So it kind of adds an extra layer of defense, but at the same time that just means more guessing.
Because obviously with Street Fighter 5, you aren't playing Street Fighter 5, you're not taking risks, so you're not guessing. So
yeah, so it's basically they just added like one more option in the roulette table.
But do you think that would you like to see it? I mean, I get this impression that you kind of wanted it to be something else. Would you like to see it stronger, or are you happy with it the way it is right now?
It's kind of good. Obviously, I think it's kind of fine the way it is right now. After like testing it for a while, I think it's kind of good the way it is right now. Because if you make it like a get out of jail free card, I think that will. I'm not sure what that will do. Maybe it'll do more harm than good. But the fact that you have to go back to neutral to do it, that's already big enough because you're obviously letting go of like blocking blow. So, for example, someone does for example, Rashid, if he does heavy kick into activation, he's like above like plus 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I think it's like plus 9 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah. So he can always hit you with Kachimini kick and you'll get hit if you try to V-shift. Or G, for example, when he does EX upper into activation, it's plus 10. So he can always hit you with light. So I think it's kind of good the way it is. It's not brain dead, but it has its uses. And the punishes you get out of V-shift is very situational and you got to be ready. So basically just added more lap time for like players, you know?
Okay, that's interesting there. All right, you know what, gentlemen? Oh, go on, say one more thing.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to punish, to be able to punish some moves that were hard to punish already. Like for example, Kami's.
Oh, I know where he's going.
Yes.
Yeah, I think everybody wanted. Even GTR could probably agree with it as well. I think everybody wanted to punish V-trigger 1 dive kick, but to no avail. So you can still recover before you get there in time. So again, I think that's probably the biggest example in regards to V-shift not being what we all originally thought it would be. So again, Luffy did make a fair point with Veggey can vouch for this. This is like, you can use it if you do get the successful parry. You're only spending half a bar as opposed to V-reverse with the full bar, and you have to be blocking, and that could be punished in its own way anyway. But as you said, Big Bird, it's V-shift does come with its risks. And I was talking to Veggey about this earlier before we let you guys go. Is I've noticed, I'm not sure about you guys, Big Bird and GTR, I've noticed more people in this game are trying to snuff out V-shift as opposed to using it themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The thing is about that, I've noticed like even Angry Bird, when I play with Angry Bird, I've noticed that he started like throwing more, so he can always to beat the V-shift.
Okay.
But that makes your offense kind of like
telegraphed, just scripted.
So you can just kind of see through their offense if they just try to throw in order to bait the V-shift. So now I guess it's still risky, but trying to escape the throw now or like not taking the throw, it might be a better option than it was last season. So now, like you might be able to backdash out of the throw or like tech a throw sometimes, even though it might be risky. But yeah, so like I said, it just added one more option to like a variety of options, pretty much.
Okay, interesting stuff there. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna let you go and play this set here. I'll be sending you invites very shortly. GTR, just to double check, was it capital I's or lowercase L's for your CFN?
It's lowercase i's.
Cool. All right. I will get onto that very shortly. All right, gentlemen, you'll receive invites from me within the next couple of minutes, and then you guys play to first to 7 while we commentate you, and then we'll bring you back onto the call after your set is done. All right. So that was very interesting there. So, Veggey, what do you take what Big Bird was saying? Just adding another option to the roulette table there with V-shift. That was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I understand this where that thought is coming from. But when you add one more option to the roulette table, the table itself becomes less efficient. So I think that the way it makes, as he said, people are throwing more, like rotating your options on defense is less risky in the sense that you have a bigger chance at being correct than you were previously. So as he says, you can tech the throw more often, and if they actually do all these kinds of like anti-throw tech options, you know that you could have V-shifted, so you can make them think about that by V-shifting. So you have another layer, as most people say, and another layer to the offensive game and the defensive game, and I think that part of V-shift is great. And
I never said it was a bad thing, to be
honest.
No,
I understood that Big Bird looked at it as a good thing for the game. But as I said, it's not like universally usable. You can't use it everywhere. It's more for specific moves or specific situations, which is fine, because it might have been too strong if you could just do it at any time blocking. Yeah.
Cool. So I've got GTR in the lobby. We're just waiting for Big Bird to join us. He is using another account, which I sent the invite to. Let me just double check and send another one there. All right, cool. Right, make sure to mute your mic as well. There you go. All right, cool. Right, you still hear him there. Now, let me just make sure, because like I said, these guys had a very interesting conversation and brought things to the table. But hey, if you haven't seen GTR play Street Fighter 5, it's going to be a good showcase for you, because he plays with Angry Bird and Big Bird all the time. So I just want you guys to see how good this guy really is at the game. Now, if I just do this real quick, that's mine. Why is it not letting me do this? With the back of the queue. There we go. All right. So if these gentlemen want to kick it off and just hit ready up when they're good to go and just play, then we can have a 1st to 7 there. Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We do this on Monday night sets every week. We bring in the guests, the players that are going to be having this exhibition, to have a little chat with them, just to find out how they're feeling about Street Fighter 5, CPT, all things Street Fighter 5 in general. Let them have a 1st to 7, and then, of course, pan out their exhibition, and then we talk to them post-match there. And we are going to be having, of course, Big Bird, NASA Esports' very own Big Bird, going up against GTR. And let me tell you something, right? I was telling this to Big Bird before. If GTR beats him, I'm going to be on the phone to his sponsors, and I'm going to listen, you need to pick up GTR, and you need to replace Big Bird with GTR. That's how it goes out here.
That's a lot of pressure. You put a lot of pressure on this man.
No pressure. Hey, listen, he was runner-up.
Situation.
He was runner-up EVA. He was so close to winning that EVA 2019. Yeah. Shout out to Bonchamp winning that. This is not going to be any pressure for him. All you got to do is just beat your friends in the 1st to 7. Make sure Jammerz doesn't hound your sponsors afterwards. But yeah, let me get the chat open. What's going on, Punk? What's going on, Hurricane? Oh. I see Frame Track TV in there. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully we've got some Middle Eastern fans here and supporters of these guys in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. But thank you very much for everyone that has been very supportive, giving us the feedback, of course, and letting us know. But let's jump straight into this set. Who are the characters going to be? Kage going up against Gil. So have you seen this matchup at all, Veggey?
I've not seen this matchup at all, but I have seen. I've been watching, sometimes when Big Bird is streaming, and I asked him because they were talking about like, is Kage strong? And he said yes, but in a way that you might not like. So I guess we'll see what he means by that as the set progresses. What I got the impression was that he feels like overextending is good, or not good all the time, but like something you can be rewarded from.
Okay, this is interesting because obviously Kage did receive a lot of buffs, got new combos. I think the go-to V system layout is what Big Bird is using right now. V skill 2, V trigger 1, because there's some fancy stuff there as well. And he's got an abundance of damage on the table every time he hits you. I want to see how these players are going to be using V shift if need be. And again, GTR does play Big Bird and Angry Bird on a regular basis, so you're going to see a lot of player stuff with the Gil gameplay here. Oh,
beautiful with punish there. Oh, that was enough to take the game?
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't expecting that. I was 20% from one. That was very nice.
So when he does that V skill 2 in V trigger 1 now, he gets more combo potential. So he can do X Tatsu after, because they sped up the startup on that now. So he can link off that, then go into the DP. He's got, I'll tell you, the damage routes this guy got in V trigger now is insane. There you go, gets that knockdown.
Just trying to open him up, making him whiff, walking back and forth into the range.
But this must be interesting, right? Because it must be way easier for Kage to open up Gil than the other way around. But then obviously what Big Bird has to be cognizant of is, of course, the 2-frame parry. Let you guys know, Gil does have a 2-frame parry, if you don't know. It's a very powerful tool. Comes at a huge risk as well. He might be actually using V-Shift more in situations where he could use the parry. Who knows? We'll see.
That's also a good point. And it will also force Big Bird to kind of like...
The flame jam doesn't connect properly. He's going to lose the game because of that. Oh, no. That's rough.
That's unfortunate, yes. But as I was saying, that Big Bird will then probably have to vary his offense a bit more, just since the parry is a mid or a low. As you know, you can't really just, it's kind of like with Colin, you then definitely need to mix up, maybe not go for your most optimal frame trap route all the time, just to make sure that you're not getting hit by it. So it adds a different kind of approach, I feel, for the player when he fights Jill, even though it's not like an end-all answer to whatever you want to do.
Now here's something interesting I'm seeing as well. I actually thought Gil would win the Fireball War in this regard, but it looks like, before this interaction we're having here in the corner right now, it looks like Big Bird had a very good advantage there. He's in the corner right now, gets that activation on V-Trigger. Nice parry as well, build that V-meter.
Nice.
He's dead.
And ready with the anti-air, which I've heard is not like that solid, consistent, but at least was looking ready when Kage has a very good jump in, so at least if you space it right, GTR shows us that you can use this as an anti-air.
It's definitely a spacing issue with crouching fist, because I have seen it lose to some jump-ins at different angles and whatnot, but he's working well so far, and he's showcasing some of those guild buffs as well. I know. Oh, shimmy! And he tried it again. I thought he could have got combo from crouch medium.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought he had the range right to get the pyrokinesis to connect meat, so he can get another crouching medium there, but he didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for the big whiff from Big Bird there, but doesn't really need to take it. Standing medium punch, beating the startup of the fireball is more than good enough, I think. So, but yeah, I think I've seen both of these players. They've been trying to snuff out, they're using these fierces a lot when they first stop their fireballs, and they're both definitely trying to bait that out. They're playing a really solid neutral ground approach, which I really like watching. So. Seeing like how they approach it would be probably different from what you would be used to, but I definitely think this is how you should play with these characters.
Okay, so here's the thing as well, because Gil has an upwards fireball with the medium version of Pyro and Cryokinesis as well as the heavy version, he's going to try and throw those upwards every now and then to try and stop a preemptive jump in there from Big Bird. But if Big Bird, knowing the player he is, he will dash or do something else when he sees that, and that already happened in the first interaction there.
Yeah, the very first in this round. And then just bowled up on it with his crouching medium kick confirm, making it really risky for GTR to...
He's put him in a burn state here. That throw is going to do more damage as well. I think the limit on that burn is about 5 seconds or a little bit longer there. Could be, I can't remember, was it 5 seconds or longer?
Oh, beautiful whiff punish. Jammerz, did you see that? That was great.
What was that, 25%?
That's what I like to see, yes. So Kage whiff punishes are really shaping up now. So that's a good thing I like to see.
I don't know if his shimmy game will be as dangerous as Ryu's now. Oh, he's dead. He's dead for sure, yeah.
It's definitely going to be strong.
Yeah, like he already had a decent, for me before, he had a semi-decent shimmy game, but obviously Ryu's got incredibly buffed because of the changes he received. I know Kage, when he's in V-Trigger 1 or V-Skill 2, that shimmy game as well can be just as deadly, so.
Nice frame trap. Catching him, pressing.
Ball kick, there you go. That move did get changed. I think the proximity box on that is a bit bigger. So like using it as a poking tool, footsie tool is going to be even more annoying than it was last version of the game there. Already seeing GTR utilize it really well.
I really like the button usage from both players, like, and the readiness to whiff punish when they first do it. But they're not like disheartened from doing it.
He might be dead.
Still do it. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's dead. Activation combo, full thing.
This is big.
And he's done. Look at that. And this is
One
it.
more.
You're seeing here, like, the retribution combos that Gills has. I think anyone will have fun doing his combos in training mode. And as GTR said in that interview, this is a character he loves to have fun with. You can see it
a bit
through,
late.
you know, that combo potential.
I think Big Bird was looking to punish the upper fireball with heavy or with Shoryu there, but definitely a bit too late.
It does happen.
To get it.
He's got low vitality.
Nice conversion.
So I think Kage does have 925, and Gil's vitality and stun got increased, so that is interesting as well, actually. There's a V-reverse.
Just has to take it, yeah. Misses the throw though. A bit unfortunate.
Oh, gets crush counted. That's what he's looking for the whole time, and he's dead.
What it was.
Oh no, he's going to build the bar, and I think that's going to be it, you know? No, scaling. Huge scaling in this combo.
One more. There you go. And what did you see from GTR? We saw the 2-frame parry, which was, I think, a nice thought.
Well, here's the thing, right? So that throw that Big Bird did there was actually wise, because obviously he was one of the players that mentioned doing V-shift in the corner is probably not a good idea. So if GTR did the V-shift, that was going to get punished. If you tried to take, that was a big risk in and of itself. And if you did the parry, he was going to get grabbed anyway. So it looked like he was ready. He covered all bases in that situation there. So Big Bird takes the lead 2-1 up in this set. All right, back and forward, crush counters, fireballs, jump-ins. You're seeing it all, people. You're seeing it all.
Yeah. Oh, great jumping. But we're not seeing that many of them. I think that was like a probably a fireball trap. As you know, GTR has been playing a lot of fireball characters, so he has like very knowledge of when he can jump after throwing the fireball, feeling the opponent's rhythm on how they want to approach.
Yeah. Big Bird 2-1, yes.
Big Bird is up 2-1. Yeah.
All right, just again throw that cryokinesis upwards as well, and Big Bird saw that, tried to dash in and close that gap, tried to use the V-Skill too. That's going to be a threat in this matchup as well against this fireball, so GTR does have to be careful.
Here's something interesting from GTR, I think. Like, you've seen him do a lot of crouch medium kicks on block, but is he confirming into... Do you know if Jill can actually confirm that crouch medium kick? Because I've seen him only cancel on hit, and he's been doing it in block range. So this definitely looks like he's doing something...
I'd have to check the cancel window. I don't think that's as easy as some other cancel windows, like obviously Ken's crouch medium kick cancel window. But you do have to be careful. And I know he's been playing this character for quite some time. So if there's anyone who knows how to do this properly, it would be GTR.
Oh, he tries to interrupt. That's a bad interrupt. It's one combo and one throw here.
That's a lot of damage. And again, you're good block. And
he's ready.
He got the teleport out as well, so he could punish.
That was so smart. That was really smart, Jammerz. I thought that was great. I haven't actually seen like the most mains of Kage utilize it like that. Really intelligent play.
People forget he has 2 overheads and he can cancel the second one.
Yes.
People forget he has 2 overheads there, and you can see GTR tried to punish it with the light lariat, but it just didn't reach in time there. So block.
Might
now,
be.
If GTR finds a way to work on his spacing against that V skill 2, I think that V skill 2 outside of V trigger 1 is garbage, right? Because its range is terrible. I feel you might be able to parry it as skill. I'm not too sure. I might have to lab that myself, but I just don't rate that V skill 2 outside of V trigger. He's dead.
Yeah, the placements from Big Bird, I think they're really like specific, like extremely well played buttons these times. Like, buttons, fireballs.
If he doesn't know the V-shift, he's dead. Okay, he got the beer. He's lucky. Literally, if GTR tried to snuff out that V-shift, I think Kage would have been dead.
Yeah, he's definitely like a combo away from taking it now. Great activation. Oh, let's go.
Wait,
ready.
Was that a punish?
Why haven't I seen that before, Jammerz? Why do I have to wait until Big Bird picks up Kage to see that? Why can't I see other Kage?
Hang on.
Tell me. Why?
Was that a punish?
Why did I have to wait? No, it must have been. He must have seen that teleport and been able to stop it if
Think
that
about
was
it.
not a punish.
You see Gil raise his hand, activate, that he has to release the javelin anyway. You teleport through, and they get the beat. I've got to check that. I've got to look at that. Listen, I'm telling you, this man's been putting in that work. Is this going to be the definitive secondary for Big Bird? I know he's been dabbling with a couple of characters. He thought his machine's locked up. It kind of is. He's having fun with Kage at the moment.
Yeah. I think that's something you can expect from Adel, to like really think different, do things that other people aren't. I really like that teleport. I'm still like mesmerized by it. But his offense in the corner right now. One more big hit.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me right now on GTR's defensive side of gameplay is how he's struggling to get out of the corner, because Kage has an extremely strong corner game. I think it's one of the best in Street Fighter 5 currently. So it's hard for a lot of characters to get out once he's got you there.
And Big Bird's been very good at punishing him like that. Oh, and then yeah, he didn't have conversion. Nice.
Again.
We've punished and put him in the corner, so it's really like nice exchange of neutral.
That's rough.
Neutral and neutral tactics.
It is.
He seems to be doing well in the Fireball game as well.
This is what I was saying before. It's like, despite like theoretically, I thought Gil would have the better projectiles, but it looks like Big Bird's having much more advantage, much more benefit from that. Big damage here.
Great backdash, gets out for free. Almost had another Fireball startup, crush counter with the Sevi kick. And I guess that's the thing. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, I think for me, just watching how GTR's playing the neutral, obviously he's being very passive, very careful. But I think he's worried about crush counters and the jumps the most. I think that's what I'm seeing.
Seeing the placements from Big Bird are good at stopping. Nice. That's the Akuma.
Pressure, here it is. And this is what I was saying to Veggey before, right? We probably don't see V-shift as much, because once your health goes below 50%, you need V-trigger.
Yes, and I mean, when you are cornered, it definitely carries a bigger risk to V-shift than if it happens mid-screen. And I feel like Big Bird hits it. Wow. Did he not have anything better there?
He did, but I don't think he believed it was going to connect.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's why he went to the Fireball there, but GTR needs that one hit. Nice. Gets the crouch immediate kick into EX Pyrokinesis, looking good here.
Still not deterred from pressing, even though there's been a lot of those whiff punishes from Big Bird. So you need to just keep on doing it. You can't just be deterred. You know, that's how you play the game. So if you lose the first interactions, you keep doing it. You just space yourself better, place yourself better.
Of course. For those of you who do not know, this is Big Bird playing. He's just using Angry Bird's account. Do not worry, he confused a lot of us before we set up this show tonight. And this is not a tournament. This is just a first to 7 exhibition between 2 players, guests we bring onto the show. Tournaments will not start until next month, April 17th. Make sure you check out the CPT. Then you can type in bracket, exclamation mark bracket to find out the brackets for that respective tour. But right now, we're having a lot of exhibitions and fun with the guests that come on the show.
I'm just really liking the usage of the standing fierce from Big Bird. He's just not whiffing. He's just not letting him whiff punish. He's always doing that extra step to make sure that this standing heavy kick, you have to block it.
Yeah, always connects. And I think Problem X mentioned that with Phenom back when we were talking about with the stand hard kick, right?
Yes.
Confirming he's dead.
Beautiful. That extra step that's what you need to. If you have problems, I think, like whiffing a lot, I think you need to consider that extra step thing, where you're not really in that range where you'd win if he pressed, but you've already deterred him from pressing by whiff punishing his standing heavy kick, his crawl kick, by whiff punishing his crouching medium kick. So he can actually do that extra step, and when he believes that this interruption is going to come now, that's when he steps out. So it's like very feel-based. Watching the opponent, how he moves, seeing that this is different from last time, he probably will press now, I'll walk out. So he's earned the right to get fierce on block a lot of the time.
I love how you earned the right. That's what you got to do in these fighting games, people.
Because Kage is standing heavy punch. It's a very well-designed button. It carries a lot of risk when you do whiff it. So when you see him do 3-4 back-to-back like that, he's definitely earned the spacing for that. By just telling GTR that, you know, if you whiff, I will punish you.
He got the he got an execution error on that turn with the moonsault knee drop there, so that worked out for GTR, and he used to get in somehow, but good conversion to stand hard. I had no idea Kage could do that.
No, same. You have to wait until Big Bird plays it. Then you'll know.
This is crazy. Gonna get a conversion into some Oki, and he does a jab on defense and get himself out. What kind of a conversion is this? Look, half screen! Oh my, what? From a jab!
So he's in the corner a lot because that one punish, that's when you end up in the corner, and it seems like it's very hard for him to get out of it.
Screen carrying this character is absolutely phenomenal there. Gets the jab check into the lariat and another grab as well.
Knowledge.
I think he needs to go for another grab. I would go for another grab in this situation, but I don't think he can get it.
He's definitely a bit deterred by the earlier interruptions that we saw just in this round.
If he jumps forward, that's CA. I'd be wise if I was him. Never mind.
Nice.
Oh, the conversion!
That was such a fireball trap. That's Dubai Go.
Please.
Dubai Go fireball. It was. That's his Ryu coming into his G.
His gill.
Yeah.
Man
that was
said
such
that's
a
his
Ryu
Dubai Go
moment.
coming into his gill. Oh no.
Yeah, but it was just like when that worked, you saw that was planned. That was such a trap. Beautiful trap.
Gonna get that there, and again, he's gonna take a lot of these throws, but I think he's been enduring a lot of throws these past 5 games, GTR. I think he needs to mix up just a little bit. He's gonna get conversion. There you go. Another grab.
Okay, nice.
That's it, and that grab's doing about 150 as opposed to like 130 because of the burn damage tacked on from the pyrokinesis.
That was such an activation. Then he's just reacting to the meaty.
If I was him, I'd just press crouch medium punch and wait for that thing to hit, do super.
So
that
close.
was it! He didn't, don't worry, he's going to get the game anyway. Oh my god, that's it. Oh.
I like that.
Oh,
I think that maybe Big Bird was kind of like overextending a bit there, knowing that he had the downfire. So using it just at the right time, stopping. But the last approach, no, that was a very good downfire.
Here's the thing. Let me ask you this, right? Because obviously you mentioned before with the top players that to make certain buttons, make their opponents respect certain buttons and be fearful of these buttons, they got to just slightly take that extra step, that micro step to walk in and then get attack on that pressure to activate on block or maybe get the crush counter. But do you feel he is overextending or overexerting himself in those situations as well? He might be walking into a jab check maybe. Or like, maybe a hard kick from GTR in that sense.
I think just when he had this power up, from the V-Trigger, it might be, that's the situation. I think maybe it was a bit too much. But I think here, he has a good chance of just stopping whatever's not the crouching knee. Like, let's say he just a jab, like crushing the jab areas like that. So I think the risk reward is on his side after he's kind of like stopped him from using a lot of crouch medium kick and coral kicks.
That's crazy. He lost about 30 to 40% of an execution area. He tried to do fireball from low forward. He got a DP instead, and GTR is not going to say no to free damage, right? And Gil, he looks like he does a world of damage against a 925 character like Kage. Both these guys are going to have CA very shortly. Nice frame trap into the conversion! My guy! I told you this guy's sick.
Yeah, he's like, and he's showing me that he's saying that Jill is very bad, but I feel like he's showing me the opposite right now. That Jill definitely can like hold his ground. But ooh.
Oh, he's stunned. Yeah, he's stunned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
no,
maybe not.
But one more. That's such a guaranteed stun situation.
Are you dead? He's got 2 bars. No, not yet. If he spent that bar, he would have been dead. And he did an audacious throw break, and then Big Bird went for the jump.
Out.
That was unbelievable. But then Kage will jump more in the corner than he does mid-screen.
He definitely snuffed out that fireball was coming. Oh, punish, nice. It's a bit too close there. So.
Okay, look at that. I'm telling you, man. You're going to see this character a lot more. His screen carry, with the combination of stages being smaller in Street Fighter 5 and the screen carry that Kage has, is going to look nuts. He's going to go for a 50-50. He's going to V-shift. No, he went for 5.
V-shift.
Okay. Just waiting
Now it's like slowed down again. Just waiting maybe to get nice activation. Oh, I think he would try to activate
Flame Javelin, full conversion. This is going to be big hit for GTR. Can he kill? Not yet. No! He did the gunslinger on defense. Nah. He went for a delayed throw, but Big Bird done the delayed medium punch, got the cannon and the confirmed nearly to take the game. Oh, man.
I feel like we see more respect from GTR on Big Bird than the other way around.
No, you didn't. Oh, no. He got another final.
Ready this time. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was unfortunate. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like Big Bird is kind of like the sensei in this situation or this matchup, because I feel GTR, he's just taking the throws. He's just doing, but Big Bird, he doesn't want to just be like complacent. He's challenging, he's teching, he's deeping, wake up crouch, medium punch.
Listen, you got to mix things up, man. That's what Street Fighter 5 is all about. And again, the more you mix up, I remember Haitani said this years ago. I think back when he was in his prime for 2017, taking all those tournaments and whatnot. It's like, you really got to mix up what you're doing in this game. You cannot be predictable in this. And I think with the way that Big Bird has been mixed up with defensive options, like Veggey said, even introducing wake up crouching, medium punch, he might be 100% living inside GTR's head rent-free.
Really, yeah. He definitely gets like more from these conversions. Nice. And the DP anti-air. And back to that, you know, like beautiful stand fiercing. I really like seeing that.
Oh, I missed the conversion too far to get that crouching hard punch. That combo does work off a cannon hit jab on the activation there. Again, gets the activation. He hasn't parried a lot. He's been relying on V-trigger a lot. I haven't seen many V-shifts either, and we've been seeing this left side of the screen quite a bit in this set here.
And we've seen Big Bird really utilize you know, before when you try to confirm into EX Tatsu, it wouldn't always work, right? You had to cancel on the first frame or something.
Yeah.
But I believe that was changed so that you could actually late cancel EX Tatsu.
Ooh, that's what I was talking about before. He might be able to parry the V skill, and he did. Oh no, that sucks. That jumping beating kick cross up is amazing.
It is.
It's amazing. I wasn't gonna say anything about Gil's crouching hard punch. I was gonna say that jump beating kick is amazing.
Yes, because that beats everything. If you can't anti-air without the DP. Oh, sick with punish. So I just like this. I just love watching this.
He is so scared right now. No, he got cross up again. He's dead. Oh no. What do you do about that? Oh, what do you do about that? That is.
You think you can V-shift? Get out?
Okay, when people go for, you know, their safe jumps or these very ambiguous jump-ins, I say risk a V-shift. I say do it. All you're pressing is 2 buttons. The game's going to send you left or right. It's going to pick a side. It's going to pick a side for you. You got to do something, right? And this is what I mean. I know it's still that very early stages. Like, we're not even, I think we're just about over a month into this new version of Street Fighter 5 coming out. But there's sometimes I'm going to keep repeating it. I'm going to keep vouching for it. At one point, you're just going to have to hit medium kick and hard punch. You're going to have to see what happens.
I don't think we've seen it yet this set.
No, they have. We've seen successful V-shifts on Big Birds, and I don't think GTR has done one.
I don't think so either. It's like trying to like get the activation, as you spoke of earlier, that might just be a bit too greedy at times. Sometimes it might be nice to actually not take damage as well.
This is it. I think Big Bird is extremely comfortable. He's found the spacing outside of Coral Kick. He's making sure that his fireballs are as consistent and as threatening as can be. And if GTR does want to go forward and advance with the moonsault, he's ready with the anti-air.
Again, the fireball game is just the way it should be.
And all he needs is one knockdown. That's all he needs from that fireball. You know? He doesn't have to risk the jump in here.
Exactly. Oh, you activate roll?
Yeah, because now there's even more of a threat. Now he can't throw the fireball.
Oh, again? That's the third time we just got like DP instead of fireball.
He's got to make something count. He's going to do the whole activation combo, the optimal stuff. I love it. Into the volcanic storm, straight to the corner.
couple of more.
Yes, the whip punish is dead.
What a whip punish. That
Oh,
was so
he's
sick.
on the backhand kick as
Finally,
well. I think that's the first time he's used that button.
Yes, finally. He just outspaced it. Finally. There you see the risk of like why the Stam Fierce is so earned from Big Bird, because you see what happens when you first whiff it. It is a really like great move to use if you can use it, but it's not for free.
Into the knee drop again. Do you know what? He's got to calm down on these upwards fireballs. I think Big Bird has literally cemented himself on the ground. This is a hard read, and there it is.
He downloaded that fireball trap from earlier and used it himself.
Crazy. He activates again.
Again, really like scared to do something.
Because here's the thing for me. Oh my word!
Oh,
nah,
again.
you did not just do
So
that.
sick.
Oh wow! And the new combo from the Winter
And the whole corner.
update. He's dead.
That's left to right.
This is rough. This is looking very calamitous right now, and I really want GTR to give me another game. I want to see more of the skill action. I'm loving the Kage from Big Bird. He's definitely worked on this character for the past couple of weeks.
Showing me why he said Kage is not weak this season. Definitely here to play. Do you think maybe GTR needs to be more active on defense? Can that be like?
I think he just needs to, like, the time for him to risk parries and V-shift, I think it's gone. Like, it's gone now.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be doing things in trepidation now. You're probably gonna see an activation, and then that's it.
An activation in my bit of a hesitant.
He's gonna confirm, not gonna quite get it yet. There it is. There's a knockdown. He needs that. This is it. He might have,
yeah, you see it. Finally,
he might have lost. Right, because he's activated, he might have lost now. We'll see. My commentator's curse is kind of strong today. So.
But there you have the whiff again.
Throw. One more throw will do the trick. No, he's not going to do it yet. He's going to do the X overhead. I don't know. Something's going to come. He's waiting. Whip punish.
Nice whip punish. Let's
go.
He's going to DP. No, more conversion. And again, both those areas where we really needed to come back. Big Bird was V-shifting out. When he really, like, I need damage now. I need to set it up. Big Bird just ran away using the V-shift. In situations where it's hard to punish as well, because he wasn't point blank. So even if he did nothing, just punishing that V-shift would be hard. So it's a very great usage of V-shift to get out of like kind of fake situations where they don't really have a good punish for that runaway with V-shift.
Yeah, that is definitely true there. And as you can see, Big Bird takes it over GTR 7-2, showcasing that Kage. I know he's been dabbling in the character. It looks like Kage is the flavor of the month for him. Hey, he might be taking it the whole way through for the remainder of this update of Street Fighter 5. We will see. But we're going to bring these guys back into the call very shortly. Just to hear their thoughts and see how they felt about that matchup there, how they feel about these characters as a whole, because we didn't ask them prior to the set, so I do want to hear their thoughts regarding that now. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that little showcase there. Obviously, these guys, Big Bird and GTR, they do play a fair bit. So that was, again, just another day at the office for those guys there. But obviously put on a show to show you guys the strengths and weaknesses of their characters there. All right, so we got these guys back with us. Gentlemen, thank you very much for playing that set there. Can you guys hear me again all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Perfect. Okay, so Big Bird, congratulations on winning that 7-2 there. It looks like people got to keep an eye out for Kage this season then, from what I'm seeing you showcase to us tonight.
I mean, Kage is definitely a better character this season, but I don't think I'll ever be picking him over Rashid, to be honest.
Okay.
Unless I'm like feeling very, very hopeless in a matchup with Rashid, that's where Kage might come like as a sneaky pick or something.
Okay, interesting there. So, like, your initial thoughts when you saw the Kage changes, if you were to give him like a random tier placement right now, where would you put him? Probably at around the 10th place? Is he a top 10 character? Is he a top 15 character? Where would Big Bird place Kage?
It's kind of hard to rank characters right now by like top 10, 5, 3.
Yeah.
I think you need to rank them by like S, A+, A-. No, S, A+, A, B.
Okay.
So Kage, I'll probably put him like in A tier, or like at the end of A+.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, now let me ask you, because like obviously I've seen that you've been putting in a fair bit of work getting those conversions on. Your whiff punish game was on point. Your neutral understanding, the fireball wars, they were absolutely amazing to watch from the pair of you. Winning those exchanges there. You even used a little bit of V-shift. Right now, I know this is still a bit early, but off the top of your head, what do you think Kage's problems are as a character as a whole are right now?
I think in matchups where he can't use Red Fireball is automatically a bad matchup for him.
Okay.
Because he has very short limbs, and the way he fights, the way he like gets around the neutral, isn't because of his limbs or anything. It's because of the Red Fireball.
Ah, okay.
If you noticed in the matchup where I played GTR, I've been using a lot of Red Fireball, even up close, where you can play like even in Footsie's range. Because of the Red Fireball, it kind of pushes his hurt box back, so it kind of makes normals whiff where normal shouldn't whiff if you didn't do anything.
Ah, okay.
And if that hits, then he can double dash and be +6 or something on quick rise.
Okay, and then obviously gets in, applies the pressure with the crouching medium punch and the frame track game, the throw game. We get to see like all of it in its glory, as you showed us there, and then it'll show us those new combos there, which was actually amazing.
But the Red Fireball. Oh, sorry.
Go for it, please. The floor's yours.
Oh, yeah. As I was saying, like if he can't use the Red Fireball, I think it's automatically a bad matchup for him.
Okay, you know, I'm going to make a mental note of that because I do need to see a lot more of Kage at high-level play. Because I said this to Veggey before. Some characters I'm not 100% convinced about. Maybe it's because the character I play. Maybe it's just the competition I see in general. And Kage was one of those characters. And Veggey did say, like, look, watch what Big Bird does tonight. You probably might be a little bit more convinced. Like, he does have his problems. He is a Shoto. And you can find ways around these Shotos in the game. But I think there is potential down the line. I'll be very curious to see who would potentially use him in CPT Online to come, or even any other events that might come later on this year. But is he going to be a definitive secondary for you, or are you still just dabbling with the cast as a whole right now?
I'm trying to find a secondary because G used to be my secondary before the nerfs.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think it's worth playing G unless he's just a character specialist kind of character.
Yeah.
It only takes a specialist to play him. Like back then, you used to see a lot of players picking him up as a secondary, and he was easy. He was easy to get wins with. But right now, I think it's harder to get wins with. So I don't think it's worth it to play him unless you're in it for the long haul, basically. So I'm trying to find another character and see who fits like my style more. Now, I mean, I might still pick G, but it's not gonna be for the reason that I can just sneak in wins with him.
I mean, hey, listen, there's 41 characters on the roster. You got plenty of time before your CPT kicks off, so you got plenty of time to mess around. It looks like you're having fun with a little bit of Kage, so hey, keep knocking yourself out. When it comes
to characters, like you used to play Birdie, and why don't you try to like incorporate him in your cast again? Is there any specific reason why you don't use the Birdman himself anymore?
I might still use him, but in a normal CPT, I don't think I'll ever have to use another character other than Rashid, because Rashid, honestly, I don't think Rashid loses any matchup. So there's no matchup where like, oh my god, I can't play this matchup, I have to switch.
Yeah,
it's all like
that's strong.
Yeah, with Rashid.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't see me ever picking on another secondary unless I want to test something. Like for example, when I played Birdie versus Gachikun in TGS, that was because I wanted to test something.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't think I'll ever have to pick Rashid, other character other than Rashid, if I don't have to.
Interesting. All right, moving on to GTR, because we kept you waiting a little bit. GTR, how do you feel about Gil overall this season? What's the GTR verdict?
Definitely he's improved. He's a lot better now, especially his forward heavy kick buff.
Yeah.
They increased the pushback. Literally every character used to be able to punish him. It's still -6, but now he gets pushed back far, so most characters now, it's difficult for them to punish it. So that's a very good buff, actually.
Okay.
And the crouching medium punch buff, it is +4 now instead of +2. So it combos naturally into his light attacks.
Yeah.
And on counter hit, he gets another crouching medium punch. And on top of that, he gets heavy lariat. So that's a buff. Basically, it buffs 3 things. So that's excellent, actually. It's one of his best buffs, to be honest.
Okay.
But the thing is, with Gil, he still suffers with Oki. It's his biggest issue.
Okay.
Most of his enders, which is lariat, basically, on grounded, the lariat is +2 on block. On quick rise and +7 on back rise. But the thing is, if you back rise, he's too far away to do anything.
Yeah, he's not in throw range, right?
Exactly. Yes. So as you noticed, Adil basically quick rose back rose every time I knocked him down with Lariat. There is nothing much I can do. So that's his biggest issue, to be honest. I need to spend half of my V-trigger just to get proper Oki.
Yeah, that is
so
rough.
I hope that they would have buffed that, but they didn't touch that actually, which is disappointing, to be honest.
It's interesting because you know what they decide to buff and nerf about certain characters. Gil, I thought was going to be under the radar because obviously how his V triggers, especially V trigger 2, is creating those 50-50 mix-ups. You know, instant stun, and then you know he makes the comeback from there. But obviously you didn't really use V trigger 2 there. You used V trigger 1. Is V trigger 1 the go-to V trigger choice now because of V shift, or is it just better overall in terms of damage and Oki for what Gil can get?
Definitely. V-Trigger 1 is the only way to go right now, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
V-Trigger, even back before the patch, I used to think V-Trigger 1 is much better. But the thing about V-Trigger 2 is one guess into death. So it was great, but with the introduction of V-Shift, it completely killed this V-Trigger. You cannot do anything. The setups are dead. So it is a completely worthless, it's a dead V-Trigger now. I don't see how anybody can use this V-Trigger and win with Gil.
Damn. That's coming from a Gil specialist there as well. Because I didn't know how V-Shift was going to pan out long term as well. And I saw people picking up, there was a resurgence in the V-Trigger 2 for Gil. And I was like, uh-oh, if we can't get out of these setups, we might all be done. But I've seen a lot of Gil players just pick V-Trigger 1 and just work from there as well. So what is just to clarify, what is the GTR roster right now that you're currently working with? Is it just Gil and Sagat, or is there other characters that you're dabbling with as well?
I think I'm going to go back to Ryu a little bit.
Okay.
Since he seems to be properly buffed this season, I'm going to start focusing on him more. Because Sagat, to be honest, he was not changed much. The biggest thing Sagat got was his, he can now get Oki after High Tiger Cup.
Yeah.
Or he can get Kara Heavy Knee, which leads into Oki. That was an excellent buff, actually. But other than that, very small changes. So Ryu got like 3 pages worth of buffs. So definitely he moved up, wiped up the tier list. I'm looking forward to using him more. And hopefully we'll do better with him.
Okay. Now, I just want to talk about the matchup a bit, because obviously me and Veggey were commenting that. We noticed some interesting things there. Big Bird, how do you feel about Kage versus Gil? I originally thought that Gil win the Fireball War and he'd have a much easier time in neutral, but boy, did you prove me wrong. Is that a matchup that you might say right now looks like it's in Kage's favor?
Honestly, it's kind of, even though I play this matchup a lot, it's kind of, it still can't come to a conclusion about the matchup. Sometimes, like, I mean, every time, like, I'm one hit death away if Gil gets the Retribution, or in V-Trigger 1, I'm always, like, one wrong guess away from death.
Yeah.
Because Kage has, like, what, 950 stun? Or, I mean, 950 health or something?
925, something like that, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, so the damage he takes is a lot. But in the neutral, it's not really that bad because the Red Fireball, like I said, Gil doesn't really have a way around the Red Fireball. Unless jump or something, or EX shoulder, but then you can do the 2-hit Fireball and you can't do EX shoulder anymore.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good, yeah. And the neutral seems fine. Not to mention that Kage has ways around Gil's V-Trigger 1. You saw how he teleported.
Oh, mate, I didn't. Some of that stuff you did, I had no idea he could do that. So thank you very much for showing that.
Yeah, so that was a punish that Kage can do if Gil tries to throw the V-Trigger 1 from far away.
Okay.
He has to be really careful around that. But other than that, I don't feel like it's a very clear advantage that Kage has. Like, if anything, I'll probably say maybe 0.5 Kage. Or maybe 5.5.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know how that matchup will pan out throughout this version of the game. Heck, I don't even know if we'll see it at all. This is one of those rare matchups that we get to see on Monday Night Sets, courtesy of you guys here. And GTR, I've got to ask, when you were on the back foot a lot of the time, because we did the game was played on the left side of the screen a lot, you didn't really use the parry, and you didn't really use V-shift or even try to mix things up a little bit. Was that because of how well you and Big Bird know each other, or is it really a situation where Gil just can't do anything in that situation?
Yes, as you can see, most of the time Adil was going for for throws.
Yeah.
And you can see the reversal coming out. I actually tried the parry
At one point, yeah.
Yeah. And he just threw me. Basically, he was not going for risky plays, so the parry didn't seem like a good strategy. And V-shift, to be honest, I have not been focusing on it much. I just haven't had the time to properly study the V-shift mechanic, so I don't like to throw it out willy-nilly without properly understanding how it works. So once I get some time with it, then maybe I can develop a strategy around using it.
Okay.
But throwing it without a proper strategy, I don't think that's a good habit, to be honest.
Okay.
So that's why I don't do it much.
Do you know, I'm the complete opposite of GTR. I'm just like, listen, let me just see if it works here, works now, and I'll take it to the lab later. Because look, if you don't try it in certain situations, you'll never know if it's going to work or it doesn't. But I can understand that meticulous approach that you have. It's like, no, I have to be 100% certain that it's going to work here, or at least get me back into the neutral to ensure that I can still play the game. For the most part, you guys look like you had some very interesting exchanges in the neutral there. It's just that Big Bird, again, showing the level of player he is and how much work he's put into the Kage. He just came out on top for a lot of his interactions and helped win the set there. So again, that was a very interesting set to watch from you guys. Obviously, the scoreline says otherwise, but I still know you guys are both from a great region with great players. Veggey, is there anything else that you want to touch upon or ask these guys?
Yeah, I mean, the scoreline was like in Big Bird's favor, but I think that the matches themselves were closer than maybe the scoreline, like in general, than the scoreline represented. I think they were really good games with, as you say, great interactions. I felt like I would like to ask you, GTR, if you feel like there's some kind of because you were a lot more passive on defense than Big Bird, and I was wondering if that is coming from more of this, since you play a lot together, maybe you've been kind of trained to this passivity, or is it more like a gameplay thing for you? Because you were like taking, it is a good thing, but you just keep on taking throws, which, I mean, it is the theory that you should always do it, but at some point you kind of need to make them think more about just going for the throw, make them a bit annoyed, maybe taking a bad situations. How was the thought process when you were on defense? Are you kind of trained by your sets earlier, or was it just kind of just what happened today?
Yes, it's actually a mix of everything. I play with Adel a lot, so we kind of know our habits. He tends to go for throws a lot, and it's just the rule of SF5 is just to take the throw, to be honest, because especially when Kage has V-trigger stock, you just don't want to risk that big damage, to be honest. So if it's not a life or death situation, I'm just gonna take the throw, to be honest. But I did take the throw a couple of times just to inform him that I'm willing to throw.
Okay.
So that's
that you're willing to say,
yeah. It's a bad habit to just say I will not take I will take the throw, and that will be your strategy. It's always good to show the other guy that you're gonna throw take, but do it in such a way that it's not very obvious. Just show him that you're willing to take and then stop taking. Especially in short sets.
Yeah, because in short sets, if you take early in a short set, that might mean that you get out for free, especially if they don't know you quite a few times, because they really want to punish that throw.
Then you suddenly stop taking, then the guy is just going to keep going for shimmies and...
So that's a really, it's just, even if it's a risky situation, I definitely like that idea of taking early.
I know, but when it comes, when the two players know each other very well, it just comes down to guessing, basically.
Fight games are all about.
They were a bit on the short end today, but maybe another day you would be more guessing more right. It's not. Actually, it is what it is. Sometimes you are on top of the guesses.
Yes, I think actually this matchup is 5-5. I don't think Kage wins. It just Adel played a much better game today than me.
Okay.
And especially that red fireball that Kage, it's really annoying. People say that Kage has no footsie, but that's all the footsie Kage needs.
Yeah, I think it's taken a while because I know, shouts to Brian from Scotland, he was telling me before that Kage's red fireball is the thing that people should be looking out for the most, because if that thing knocks you down, that's all he really needs, and he's in, then all of a sudden you realize that this guy has an amazing toolset because he's right in your face.
And the hurtbox is just not there. You can see that my arm is...
Yeah, your crouching medium punch whiffed at one point. Oh, man.
I don't know where the hitbox goes, but...
I mean, it's great for the Kage player. It's absolute nightmare for his opponents there. But just before we let you guys go to close out the show, Big Bud, I don't think I asked you. Overall, with Rashid, it seems like you're still happy with Rashid and he's still a strong character. I wanted to know, there was a specific change, a universal one. It was the special counter hit state when he jumps off the wall. And then if you hit him out of it, you get these new combos and just absurd amount of damage. How did you feel about that when you heard about that? Was that a huge issue? Was that a big impact on your gameplay? Or was that just, nah, whatever, I just won't use it. I didn't need to use it in the first place.
Actually, I mean, since they changed Rashid's wall jump trajectory, the short one, I mean, good luck hitting him out of the air, to be honest. You'll never be able to hit him out of the air. I think if you have a grounded anti-air that covers both sides, maybe, then yes, probably have a better chance. But if you try to air to something, it's not going to work. Because it's really hard to snipe him out of the air. I tried. Like, when I play versus Angry Birds Rashid, he loves wall jumping. So whenever I try to do that, I can't. I end up putting myself in the corner, and basically that's what Rashid wants.
Damn. All right. I had to ask because, like, you do use this character, and again, a lot of people worldwide, they just find Rashid an absolute nuisance. But I need to hear it from a Rashid main, not from people in training mode, just setting it to a certain like trajectory and then just getting a 60% for no reason. I need to hear it from the man himself there. But yeah, I believe we are going to wrap things up there. Gentlemen, Big Bird, GTR, once again, thank you very much for joining us tonight and participating in this. It was great to have a chat with you guys. Again, make sure you guys stay safe, and hopefully when offline returns, we can all play some games and Big Bird and GTR can body me once again, because I haven't actually beaten them at Street Fighter 5 and I do want to. But yeah, Veggey, you got any closing words for these guys before we let them go?
Thanks for the. As total, that was a great set. I'd really like to see both of you come back at another show at another time. Really just enjoyed watching how you how you expressed yourself with Kage and how you showed us the strength. Even though you're not convinced that Jill is strong, at least you showed us how he can be like threatening. So I would like to thank you both for that set. That was a great pleasure to watch.
Pleasure talking to you guys.
All right. Gentlemen,
Likewise,
we'll leave you because I know it's late over there where you guys are. So sleep well and keep on playing some Street Fighter. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Take care.
All right. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The set has been concluded. The chat has been concluded. 7-2 there to Big Bird. I mean, it's amazing that we've had the character variety so far. We've had Phenom and Problem with Alex versus Ryu. We had Reinhardt and Luffy last week with Sagat and Mika. Now we've had Kage and Gil. I think we can keep these sets rolling and get that character diversity and just probably get potentially all 40 characters on this show here. I think it's been nothing shy of amazing. But I think these guys have definitely given me some things to think about as a player, and hopefully you guys are going to learn something about that as well. And they definitely give me some things to lab in training mode, because I did not know that teleport goes through the flame javelin and he gets a full combo of crouching medium punch. I've never ever seen that before. And then, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I mean, do you think we'll see that matchup often, Veggey? Or
Kage versus Jill? I think that's a one-off, unless you invite the same players back again, I guess. But you could do that if you really want to see it. But I think you'd see Kage maybe, depending on like who you pick or who we pick for later shows. Yeah. Jill, I think you kind of need to find the experts for Jill if you'd like to see Jill more on the show, because he's not, as they say, he's not good. They don't like his, they don't feel he's strong. So finding players that would just pick him up, I think it won't be that common. So it was a matchup you might not see often, especially in CBTs. So no, I think that this might be a one-off for now, at least.
Well, it was great to watch regardless. I'll definitely go and watch back, see the matchups, and then make a couple of notes and stuff myself. Because again, I learned a lot from those guys. And again, they're from a region that is not as big as others. So they're training partners. They're definitely more condensed, and they get things done a lot quicker than other people. And they're some of the fiercest competitors on the planet. I can't wait to see both of them enter the Middle East Online CPT later on in the year. And we'll get to see who comes out on top there. But those guys can keep playing and they keep grinding there as well. Richard, can we get their pictures and their socials on the screen one last time just so they know where to find these guys? Well, obviously, if you're not following Big Bird on the social media or on the Twitch, make sure you do so. He streams with Angry Bird. They do play with GTR and other players from that region as well. You can have a chat with them, hear their thoughts about the game, V-Shift, Kage, and all that stuff as well. And obviously follow Big Bird on Big Bird _ FGC, and then he'll say good morning to everyone except those who play a certain character or something like that. I don't know if he's still doing those kind of tweets. But make sure you give GTR a help as well. I do need to follow him and thank him as well, because again, despite what happened, I know the scoreline was a complete opposite of what we were talking about, but I do believe, and I'll stand by my point, GTR is a very good player. And he did mention the problems he has as a player, especially in tournament environment and short sets. A lot of people have that same problem, and I just don't think he wants to go through that stress. He wants to have fun playing these games, the characters he loves, and he doesn't always want to be in that competitive environment to do that and where he can't show skills to the best. But do not forget, guys, make sure you join us next week for a classic in Europe. We're going to get the mans running the online scene in the European region right now. Hurricane going up against AS Monaco Crimson. And I'm going to ask him how he can get me a football shirt and sponsored by a football team, because the fact that he's sponsored by a football team hasn't shared any of that with anyone else is beyond me. But shout out to these two, man. I've got to love these guys. Nothing but love. And do not forget, on April 5th, Monday, April 5th, 2021, we're probably going to have one of the juiciest sets on the show right now. It's ISDD going against DJ Khaled. Sorry, I read the name wrong. It's MDZ Jimmy. He's coming on the show. I thought that said DJ Khaled. I need my glasses. I can't see. But this is going to be a set. This set has been going on for centuries, right? If you haven't seen it in your books in high school, secondary school, wherever, this rivalry is going on. We have to get these guys on the show. They're going to be going on to... We're going to try and change it from a first 7 to a first to 10. And I think it's going to be absolutely wild that we have to sit in a Discord call with those two without them two going for each other's throats, right? Because
I mean, we've seen them on Twitter.
ISDD's made a song about Jimmy. These two go back and forth on the streaming round. And again, at one point, for Street Fighter 5, you were looking at... Those two were some of the biggest streamers at the time for Street Fighter 5, right? It's wild, right? And then we'll get to hear their thoughts on the game and how they feel about other characters and whatnot. So, guys, please do stick around. And do not forget, make sure you tweet at us, at Capcom Fighters, at HC Jammerz, at Veggey Street Fighter, and let us know who you'd like to see on the show. I have been seeing on Twitter, we've had quite a few requests to have some African representation there. We are going to try and get that sorted as soon as possible. We do have a couple of these sets lined up already, but please keep telling us who you'd like to see on there. We want to branch out worldwide and see if we can get these players. We do want to knock on Daigo's door and see if he can play a little bit of Kage or Ryu for us on the stream there. We'll see if we can make it happen. But there has been a lot of time, a lot of requests to have some African representation there. And do not forget as well, this is the hottest European weekly right now going on, Salt Mine League. This is their weekly schedule. Salt Mine sets happen on Monday, just before we start the show here. On Friday, they have King of the Salt Mine, and then the tournament that everyone wants to watch, the Salt Mine League EU Open Bracket, one of the killer tournaments, the most deadliest tournaments online right now for Street Fighter 5 happens. And again, two of the players you're going to be seeing next week, Hurricane and Crimson, they're winners of this tournament here. So make sure you follow Salt Mine League on all their social media outlets, YouTube, Twitch, and the Twitter account there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to love you and leave you. We gave you another diverse roster there with Kage and Gil. We're going to be seeing Cammy and Dalsim most likely next week. Dalsim isn't dead. Let me tell you.
No, that was going to be my closing word. No, I was going to say...
Talk to me, Veggey, before we go.
I was going to say I'm too afraid for my closing statement, but you know who is still good. Oh, you know it. He's still good.
Who is? Is Nash still good? You were saying Nash was still good, right?
I plead the fifth, as I said on Twitter. I'm too... no, not Nash. Someone else.
He said Nash. He's lying.
Someone with stretchy limbs. I'll leave it at that. He's still very good.
Honda? Honda can stretch a bit.
Yeah, Honda's good too, but it's not the one I'm talking about. He's...
A man of
stretchy
mystery,
limbs.
apparently.
Yes, and he can teleport. And he can teleport.
Who, Kage? Akuma? Who are you talking about?
Kage doesn't have stretchy limbs. Akuma doesn't have stretchy limbs. So I'll leave it at that. Teleports, stretchy limbs, still good. Very good.
Guess who?
So
All
good.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll love you and leave you. We'll see you next week for Hurricane and Crimson. Take care.